am Chris Costello, fighting out of Total MMA Studios, and I will be fighting Kevin Bostick at 155, Badbeat 15. Yeah, so Badbeat 14, my last fight, I fought Daniel McWilliams. That was October. Yeah, I lost in the first round, first minute of the first round. So basically, what happened was we made some exchanges. I threw a side kick, he caught it, took me into the cage, had a single leg. I pulled in for the guillotine right away, and so this was my first time ever fighting at 70, and it was my first time ever fighting somebody taller than me. So it was definitely different. I'm used to having length and leverage on people, and so I had it in tight, and where I normally have the leverage on other people, I didn't have it on him because of his height. And he was able to take me up, get the takedown. And what I didn't know then and found out later was that I got slammed on my head because I didn't let go of the neck, and I actually went out for a few seconds, and when I kind of came to, he was on my back. So I got tapped with the rear naked. But anyways, disappointing loss. Losses are always disappointing, but definitely learn from it. Definitely learn from the couple mistakes that I made in watching it and kind of replaying it in my mind. And it was just definitely motivation for the next fight and for training and for just working on those things. Yeah. I honestly don't think that the weight had a lot of effect on the result of the fight. I think I could still do fairly well at 170. However, my intentions in moving up to 170 before were because I wanted to build my body up in the long run to that weight class. I felt like my body was kind of getting a little too big for 155. I thought I was going to kind of grow into 170, and I had to be willing to fight at that weight at the time in order to make the transition comfortably up to 170. I didn't gain weight as fast as I thought I would after that fight, after the camp, and hoping to build my body up to a higher weight to be more comfortable and prepared at 170. And I just didn't put on the weight like I thought I would. So I kind of made the decision to stay at 55, and somewhere down the road I might be open to going to 70 again and making that transition. But I definitely felt like for this fight coming up, I just wasn't there for 70, so 55 was just better. So I just got to make the cut and make it work. For those of you who maybe aren't believers or don't believe in God, a lot of what I'm going to say might seem silly, or maybe you don't completely understand it, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But for that fight, I really was praying, even leading up to that last fight against Daniel, that God would use me, and that He would glorify Himself, and that He would really just use me in that fight. And I feel like He did. I feel like He really did. In my mind, before the fight, I thought, okay, cool. I sense victory. I sense that something awesome is going to happen. And so losing the fight, especially in the fashion that I did, I was disappointed, and I didn't completely understand immediately after. But after sitting down and really just thinking about it, I still sensed that spiritual victory. And what happened was I was able to use that loss, and I was able to kind of showcase and be an example of someone that God would want me to be in response to a loss like that. That would be devastating, and that would be frustrating, and that would be disappointing. And I was able to keep my head up, and I was able to smile, and I was able to say, hey man, I lost this one, but I'm learning from that. And so I feel like I was able to respond to the best of my ability, and really allow that to strengthen me and fuel my fire, as opposed to discourage me and give me doubt and hang my head low. So God used that as an opportunity to really be an example of how you should respond to that, and being fruitful, and just shining light regardless of being disappointed, regardless of defeat in that fight. And so I've let it be only positive for me, and I haven't taken anything bad from it. It was disappointing that it happened, but it was necessary, I think, you know what I mean? And not to say that, God wanted me to lose or anything like that, but He can use you in any situation. He can use you in victory or defeat, and I feel like He used me in defeat, and because of that, I was grateful, and so I'm taking the best from it. Yeah, training camp's been awesome. Just all of us, same guys at total, and you know, we have some new guys come in, but just such a great team, awesome teammates. You know, Christian Aguilera, he's doing amazing, and he's 4-0 now just for RFA, and just, you know, EJ Chavez, you know, all my coaches and trainers, we just have such a solid team. So we're all growing together, we're all building together. So every camp that I hit in preparation for a fight, I'm improving. I feel like I'm picking up where I left off, and I'm just going up from there. So that's where I feel like I'm at now. I feel like I'm always improving, and I feel like I've definitely, like, you know, like I said, worked on some holes and fixed some things that, you know, I needed to work on. So yeah, I feel good for this fight. I feel confident, and the camp's going great. Kevin Bostick, yeah, looks like a tough guy. He's definitely seasoned. He's experienced. He fought a guy, Chris Pena, who trained with us for a while. In the mornings, he fought Chris Pena, knocked him out with an uppercut. You know, so he's got good, solid power. So, you know, you definitely got to be wary of that and respect that. And so, yeah, I see it being honestly a really fun fight. It's going to be good. He's a tough guy. You know, I'm a tough guy, so I feel like it's going to be a good war. It's going to be fun. Yeah. You know, kind of just continuing to up my cardio. As far as technique, you know, I am kind of trying to refine some technique, but, you know, getting this close to the fight now, it's kind of a matter of staying in shape, working what you know, not necessarily learning anything new, but refining technique and going over things and drilling things, and, you know, obviously keeping my cardio up, keeping my strength up, and at the same time, you know, focusing on kind of steadily losing weight and making the cut. So we've been busy, staying busy as a gym. You know, we have a lot of people. I just competed at the All-American Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Like you said, we have a bunch of amateurs that just fought in our Get Down show, which was awesome. Christian just had a fight. So it's cool because we're staying active, we're staying moving, and we always have somebody or some teammates competing in something. So we're always preparing. So we have camps going on constantly. And so we're either in the camp for ourselves, or we're in the camp to, you know, help our teammates prepare and train for whatever they're competing in. So it's awesome because we're growing, we're building, we're winning fights, we're winning competitions, and we're learning and growing together, and we're building our team in numbers, but we're also just building our team in terms of experience and you know, technique and knowledge and skill, and so it's awesome to be a part of that. Yeah, so we're growing as a gym. I feel like I still haven't, like, and I think you probably hear this from a lot of people, but at this point, out of my six fights that I've had, I still feel like I haven't really, like, showcased myself, which, you know, I have to a certain extent, but I've grown and developed and built. So you know, especially in my last fight, obviously I felt like I had a lot more to offer than what I was able to really show and make happen in the cage. It got ended quicker than obviously you know, I wanted it to. But in terms of what fans can expect, like I said, I feel like this fight with me and Kevin is going to be, you know, it's going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be really good. It could be a 3-rounder, you know, who knows. But I definitely see a lot of things happening. I think it could go anywhere, and I think it will go everywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for that to happen, to be honest with you. I want it to, I want it to go everywhere. I need to get in that cage and make stuff happen, you know what I mean? So I'd like to fight in all of those dimensions that we train. You know, we train that stuff for weeks, and sometimes, you know, you train stand-up, you train boxing, you train jiu-jitsu, you train your wrestling, you know, you train all this stuff for weeks and weeks and weeks preparing for this fight, and then, you know, maybe the fight lasts 1 minute. You know what I mean? And there was only one little dimension of everything that you worked and everything you built. So I'm excited to showcase all of that and to kind of work and put to use a lot of what I've developed and learned. Yeah, like always in all my interviews, big shout out to my teammates, my coaches, who are my home. You know what I mean? They're my team. They're where I you know, who's a fighter without their gym? Who's a fighter without their team? I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be having this interview if it weren't for my coaches and my teammates who invest so much time into me and just build me and grow me and teach me. You know what I mean? We all need each other. So obviously, huge shout out to Giuliano Prado, Adriano Nizal, you know, who has been helping me out a lot. EJ Chavez, he's been holding mitts for me and training with me. Christian Aguilera, who I feel like has been one, you know, my #1 training partner since we started training together, and obviously just the rest of the team who helps put it together. My parents, you know, Chris and Didi Costello, who, you know, support me in every way, and I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for them. My brother and sister Michael Costello, Lauren Costello, love you guys, and support from the whole family. My church family, who I mention always, who gets me through life and has built me mentally and spiritually and supported me in MMA as well, and as far as attending and being there and asking about it and showing interest and everything. So I have a lot of support and a lot of love from a lot of people. So I have a lot of gratitude for a lot of people who have given me that. And #1 is God. Obviously, for me, obviously wouldn't be who I am, where I am, or exist if it weren't for him. So shout out to him. Hey, I'm Chris Costello, fighting Badbeat 15 against Kevin Bostick at 155. Come and watch me. It's going to be a fun night.